Alright, this is Wolf, and welcome to another Division video. Today we are, as you can see kind of up here in this corner, coming with a build from the PTS for 1.8. And today's build is a build I've been messing around with for the last 3 days. And I have two different iterations of it, both of which I have PvE gameplay, and I am going to showcase both of them for you guys. This is going to be the first video. The next one will come shortly after. So let's jump into this. I'll get to the guns after I go through the gear, skills, but first, this is a 6-piece Fire Crest, and it is kind of more or less a balanced Fire Crest build. I would like a little bit, probably closer to 200k skill power, but this is what I have at this particular moment, and it seems to work very well. As you can see, I have 2 stamina pieces, 2 firearms pieces, and electronics pieces, which is what gives me. I don't have all the mods. I would technically run turret damage in the 2 performance mod slots that don't have any, but as I'm not a consistent PC player, I don't have a lot of that. So I'm making do with what I had at the time the PTS started. So, chest piece. I am running a health chest piece because, as you can see with toughness, stamina is relevant again. And I am very difficult to take down, especially with the turret. So, 9% skill haste, health with health or increased kill XP. I would prefer this being ammo, but this works pretty well. And I have firearms with health mod. So the mask has skill power with damage to elites. This damage to elites is very crucial in this particular build. It helps a great deal, particularly when you're going up clearing landmarks, clearing HVTs, especially since this build does actually rely on your firearm. So having the damage is extremely helpful. And this has a electronics mod, which I would prefer skill power off of electronics or skill haste, but I think I'm pretty close to cap on skill haste. Knee pads. Stamina knee pads with skill power. For this to be ideal, I would want one of these to be damage to elites, but I don't have that, so this is what I'm running. The holster is standard holster, max rolls with 7% skill haste. The gloves, I have multiple pairs that I will run. This is just one of the pairs. Skill haste, assault rifle damage, and enemy armor damage. Surprisingly enough, enemy armor damage actually is a stat that works very well with the turret. I was testing this, and by having high enemy armor damage and no enemy armor damage anywhere, and my turret shredded elites or any of them with armor very, very quick, even in this build that doesn't necessarily have the high electronics. And as this doesn't get a mod, let's go up backpack, skill power, ammo capacity with rolled firearms, and this one has 6% self-heal mods and a electronics mod with exotic damage. And for now, since we've gone through the gear and why I chose what I chose, for those that aren't familiar with Fire Crest, the 2-piece gives you 3 additional incendiary grenades. The 3-piece gives you 50% turret range and 30% turret damage. The 4-piece gives weapon damage is increased by 15% against burning targets. This is where it gets interesting. The 5-piece gives you an extra incendiary grenade. Had to do something to complement the 2-piece. The 3-piece that it gets expanded was basically both of them were cut in half and added here. So it gives an additional 15% turret range and 10% turret damage. And then if you come down here to the improved Fire Crest, bullets have a 5% chance to cause an enemy to burn. Burning targets can cause a fiery explosion. This fiery explosion can both happen from your turret or your bullets, and it works that way as well in PvP. What it does is that when a PvP player explodes, it creates like you threw a fire grenade at them and they're in the middle of it. So regardless, it is very hard to res them, and recovery link, they're still burning, so it makes it kind of difficult. And yeah, they burn. That's basically what this is. And it's once every 10 seconds. And NPCs, notice how this is NPCs, meaning it does not translate into PvP, so people do not freak out. NPCs set on fire by your turret will burn 25% longer for every 2,000 electronics. So see here, I have 4,500. So that would give me a 50% extra burn on any target that gets lit up. Now, for the weapons I chose the Urban MDR, which is because of the distracted perk. That's the whole reason I'm using the Urban MDR. The other one, excuse me, I do not do pronunciation of names well, especially when they're like this. So this is the new exotic machine gun, like LMG. And this is the reason I chose this, is for this talent here. Every bullet fired while in cover increases your weapon damage by 0.5% up to 50%. The bonus lasts for 10 seconds. Getting a kill with this weapon while in cover resets the duration, meaning it will constantly, every time you get a kill, reset that 10 seconds. Bonus damage is cancelled by reloading, swapping weapons, or exiting the cover. This gun works so well with this Fire Crest build that it, especially since it has the high RPM, the high damage to targets out of cover, and if you're burning with the turret, they're out of cover, so this applies. You just melt people. I have one of the top tier HVTs that are going to be showcased after we're done talking, and you'll see exactly why this gun just shreds in this build. Okay. Now, I am running overdose because I do kind of have a little bit lower skill power. So, this is just too weak. And then this is even weaker. This would be good in the other one as kind of a combat medic. But this, since I'm mostly solo and this is what I use this build for to be, then I use this. And it works very well with the turret. The other one you could use is either the immunizer, the revive box, or the ammo cache. Because as you can see, their cooldowns are much quicker, and it will help you get your turret back also quicker. So that's another option instead of just using over. And then you still have the master mod that when you disable it, everybody that's in it gets that instant heal. And you can see even with my skill power, it's still a relatively decent heal per second. Maybe not as good as the instant, but blowing it up still gives that instant. And this helps get your turret back faster. So, talents. I run this solely because I throw grenades. Other than this, the other one you could run is tech support. Killing the hostile gives your turret 10% longer. I run wildfire, and this just makes the turret shine. Strike back, since I've been running solo in a group setting, you could run combat medic instead. I also run critical save. This has saved my butt on more than one occasion when it has come to this build. Because yes, you can go toe to toe with people, but you don't necessarily have the damage on the turret. Because as you can see, my turret's damage is relatively low at 7,000. I could, with turret mods on this, it would probably bump it up to over like 74, maybe 7,600. But this is more used for a crowd control aspect. That's entirely what you're planning with this, is you want it for crowd control. So you can kind of start getting things to stop moving, start getting them burning, and just mow them down with the LMG. That's the entire way that this build is meant to go. So, this has been my Fire Crest build. And as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. This is kind of a Fire Crest tactical assault. Because yes, you use the turret, yes, it comes in handy, yes, you have the means, but this is the gun, this LMG makes this build shine, as you will see shortly. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll leave links to my Twitch channel where you can follow and catch me streaming almost every day. I will be releasing my schedule. I think it's probably released now. And from there, I will see you all in the next one. And I'll leave a link to my Twitter where you can follow me, keep up to date of happenings on the channel, as well as my game list that you feel you would like either more regular content or better content. You can subscribe to me there, help support support the content moving forward. I am Wolf, and I'll catch you all in the next one.
Warning. Hostiles detected nearby. Hostiles incoming.
We own this place! Don't let it loose, for God's sake! Come out and fight! Come on, take care of this!
Alert. Additional hostiles inbound.
There's your chance! We own this place! Wanna die? They got him! Wanna die?
Alert. Additional hostiles inbound.
Fuck no! Put on the pressure! Get on the other side! Yo! Careful! Pick the shot! Damn! Jesus! Oh, crap!
Hostiles incoming. Alert. Heavily armored hostile detected. High-value target has been eliminated.